When did you switch from not wanting to cause harm to James to wanting to harm James?
Objection.
After James started claiming he was fired and kicked out of his organization, which he wasn't. I'll tell you a story which I believe to be true.
I've been stripped of my authority as CEO and removed from the board of directors.
How does the company go on without the man who built it?
I'm telling you, if a board statement goes out the way that they're thinking about doing it, it's fucking over. It's over.
I'm adamant that I'm only going to stick to the facts. But don't you know that so many people want to go beyond the facts? They wanted me gone, but they wanted me to give them money and my start. But fortunately, I have recordings and documents to back up everything I'm about to tell you.
If we're about to paint James O'Keefe as a criminal, it better be fucking good.
And if you think all this is bad, this is just part one.
Excuse me?
Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, I can.
Do you swear testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Am I correct that this is your Twitter handle, @RightThinker2?
Yes. There was a general feeling that we have a problem with James. He needs to change and preserve and grow Project Veritas.
Nonprofit boards of directors can be very, very dangerous if they are not carefully selected and groomed to serve at the will of the leader for that organization.
Joining the board of Project Veritas was
This man fired me from the company that I founded.
I did not fire you, James.
You have no idea how much
I think it's
damage
most
you
tragic that you decided to kill your own creation.
It doesn't matter what you think, James. Just be a good boy. Do what you're told.
James, since February 6th, was bent on destroying the organization, and he has been ever since.
Fuck this fucking guy. I'll shit on him another 2 hours if we want. Hey, James.
I shouldn't have trusted these guys, but I did trust these guys. People like to say, well, but aren't these your people? Weren't these your friends? Well, evidently not.
These are people who I had a lot of respect for. You know, I've done work retreats with these people. I've met their wives, and these are people that we thought were people with integrity.
Are you really that shocked that people that I trusted betrayed me? I mean, that's what human beings do when they're put under pressure or they're put through a high-powered lens.
Consider the news that did not break today. The pro-transparency news organization, Project Veritas, just released an undercover video of a Pfizer executive.
Unlock the door. Unlock the door. Hey there. Pfizer story was the biggest story we ever did.
Project Veritas, yes, had a global reputation.
Are you f***ing kidding me right now?
I'm not kidding you. You are.
And by 2023, you had some really bombshell stories, and we were really at our height. Pfizer was blowing up.
His defense is,
it was viewed hundreds of millions of times.
It was like a date on Tinder or something.
Oh, it was like one of those Project Veritas, James O'Keefe things.
Did you not see it?
I'm sure I did.
Bragging on camera about how his company can manipulating COVID viruses for profit.
People couldn't even believe that it was real, and it was still, I would say, at the zenith, at the apex, at the climax of everything. That was us celebrating after we got that Jordan Walker score in Pfizer, and then 1 week later, my board turned on me. It doesn't look like an environment, a hostile work environment. It looks like a special place. A week later, everything changed. I mean, the only thing that changed in my life was that story. So what did the board think people were going to assume? Did the board not think that people were going to assume the worst? It was the timing of it that was so suspicious.
You say, pay us back what you owe first, and then we can start talking about it. I'm interested to know how much James O'Keefe owed you.
Oh, $785,023.
How did you arrive at that figure?
With a very, very complicated algorithm I cannot reveal because it's confidential.
And it's based on the employment agreement?
Absolutely.
And how many violations did you identify?
27.
27 violations of the employment agreement? And that led you to what figure?
I just told you, I'm not repeating my answer.
Is that analysis in your documents you provided us today?
No, it's not.
Is it done in your head?
Partially.
Where else?
Well, I'm not allowed to disclose that.
I mean, these people were just impeaching all of their credibility. If and when this goes to trial, they're going to lose because it's going to go in front of a jury, and the jury is going to say these people are total liars.
Did you ever see anything that crossed the line into so-called financial misconduct?
Objection.
I don't exactly know what you mean by misconduct.
Well, it's the terminology used in the complaint. The board also learned of O'Keefe's alleged financial misconduct. So I'm asking you as a board member, specifically, what in your mind crossed the line into financial misconduct?
The one clear
You can answer.
incident of financial misconduct, which covers a lot of areas, is his unauthorized firing of the CFO.
Veritas had to raise $24 million a year just to exist. That's a payroll, $5 million in legal, travel costs for all the undercover journalists. I mean, we were spending a lot of money, rightfully so, to give these journalists the luxury of staying in hotel rooms all the time. We're talking big money. And the only way you're going to get that money is to ask for it.
The donor department was not performing well. And that was a main catalyst for a lot of the personalities in the donor department hating James. That was a catalyst for Barry being fired.
Brought on this guy, Barry Hinckley. He wasn't willing to follow my lead. Barry Hinckley managed to convince his colleagues that there's a different way to go about this than James O'Keefe is raising money. We need to take it easy. Of course, where is the $2 million a month going to come from? There was a blow up because they were telling me in front of the team, I will not do that. So I told them, okay, you're fired.
But for some reason, and I can't necessarily put my finger on it, some people just acted like this was beyond the pale.
And I was in a predicament because I should not have said to him in front of other people, there's the door.
I was told over and over again that people beneath me are supposed to follow my lead no matter what. And I told him that said, I consider your man's title dictatorial.
I'll say there were multiple times, when I was at PV where after speaking with James or after messaging with James, I would have to take a deep breath and walk around the building. I think everybody understood, we're a small company with an outsized impact. We're making national headlines, every other week. I mean, it is a fast-paced company. It's going to have to be that way.
But what was starting to happen was people were kind of forming, for lack of a better word, a union. They were kind of going on strike.
And I told James I can't follow your lead.
When I boarded the airplane to fly to Nashville to do a follow-up on the Pfizer story, I get this email from Tom O'Hara at 3:36 p.m. as they're closing the doors of the airplane. And in this email, it says that we're going to dissolve one of our nonprofits, Project Veritas Action, combine the boards, motion to revise the reporting structure of Project Veritas with new structure, and termination of employees. And by termination of employees, Tom O'Hara was referencing getting rid of the CEO, James O'Keefe. And there's an emergency board meeting as soon as possible, which would be that evening. I think the meeting was going to be scheduled for quite literally when I touched down. And I was able to make a flurry of phone calls as the plane was taking off.
My first question on the phone to this guy, my colleague, as I was staring at this agenda when the stewardess was asking me to get off the phone, was, quote, "What are we going to tell our supporters if I'm removed from my position?" My colleague responded by saying, "Our supporters wouldn't have to find out."
He said to me over the phone, Veritas would be better without you as CEO. There was no discussion with me about this. It was a setup. I mean, it was like the Twilight Zone. I mean, I had just fired Barry Hinckley for being insubordinate. I had just fired Tom O'Hara because he was about to remove me as CEO of the company. And it felt like the world was crashing down on me. It felt like the walls were closing in. My people were just rebelling. They were mutinying. My producer, Pam Brown, wouldn't even look me in the eye. She was on the phone with Dan Strack the entire time. Every time there was an update, she wouldn't talk to me, she'd talk to Dan Strack.
I don't think people understand how big of a deal that is, particularly firing Tom with no authority. Like it's a big deal. Yeah. It's a big deal. Like what it should happen in any other organization is he would be immediately removed from the board. Immediately.
O'Keefe had no authority to fire O'Hara.
Well, let's be clear. The CEO of Project Veritas certainly has as one of his direct reports the chief financial officer.
Objection.
Where was it written that the chief financial officer within Project Veritas was not to report to the chief executive officer?
I have no idea.
Wasn't written anywhere, was it?
I don't know.
Objection.
They were rebelling against my firing Tom O'Hara, the CFO.
I believe that Tom's direct report was the board.
I understand that's your belief. Where was this written?
I have no
Objection.
idea.
Now, they said I didn't have the authority to do that, but according to Stefan Passantino, their own 501c3 IRS compliance lawyer, told Matt Tierman that they were wrong. I did, in fact, have the authority to fire Tom.
So I was one of the last people to find out even that there was animosity, that employees were starting to bundle up and talk. And the board members were apparently involved in this and actually the driving force of this. And eventually I see someone or I ping someone's like, hey, I'll come down. I'll talk to you. He was telling me, yeah, we're all mad about this. And I was like, it's not a big deal. I was like, these people are getting fired by James. There's nothing that can happen. And then he was like, no, the board is on our side with this.
Did you meet with James O'Keefe at your house the day before the meeting?
I think I did. I do recall trying to prep him for the meeting. I wanted him to have a vigorous counter-argument. I wanted him to defend himself. I wanted him to survive the onslaught.
I mean, I was trying not to be removed as CEO, and the first thing Skakel, when he sat down with me, he said, are you recording me? And I thought to myself, no, I'm not, but maybe I should be. Because this is crazy. And I asked him, who's putting this bug in your ear? And he said, Matt Tierman. He's very persuasive.
Matt's very smart. He's very bright, very high IQ guy. He's also persuasive.
In your answer a moment ago, you mentioned financial malfeasance, but you and I have been over this morning.
Right.
In your view, there was no financial malfeasance.
Objection.
That's my opinion. But others, whose opinion I respect a lot, that would be Dan Strack, Tom O'Hara, Matt Tierman, Joe Barton, considered it to be malfeasance.
When I gave him the other side of things, I managed to convince him to kind of cool down a little bit. And then he told me the board meeting was scheduled the next day on the 6th.
You didn't receive an agenda ahead of the meeting?
Well, seeing the agenda is one thing. Living through it is something else.
I had no idea what to expect. I'm basically going into this meeting understanding, that this is do or die.
Not a single lick of work got done on that day. Everyone in their office was tense, waiting for this meeting to get done.
But that meeting, I think folks should also understand the context. The meeting was on a video call and audio, so everybody was pretty much on audio and not necessarily facing each other, except for three of us. Me, James, and Tom, our CFO, were in the room and looking at the screen. It was an awkward 6 or 7 hours, like really, really, really awkward. To the point at like 5.5, almost 6 hours in, I almost unmuted myself and like with the rest of everybody and just said, everybody, stop. Like I almost like, uncle, like enough.
Had James prepared an apology letter ahead of the meeting on February 6th?
I don't know. I don't know for sure.
Did James...
I didn't see it.
Did James arrive at the meeting with an apology letter?
I don't recall.
I would offer this It's a letter that I've written to the staff regarding a sincere, heartfelt apology for some of the things that have happened here in meetings, and I would like to read it to you.
And I felt I'm willing to apologize, and I genuinely meant it from the bottom of my heart. If you listen to that, I mean it.
Dear team, on Tuesday of this week, some of you had the unfortunate experience of seeing me get into a heated disagreement over the direction and nature of our fundraising approaches. I confronted an issue in front of a group that should have been handled privately, and I was wrong to behave this way.
It was more or less saying, yes, I did that, so what? I'll write a letter and it'll be all over.
We are on a stressful journey together, and sometimes the pressure gets the best of me. It does not matter the circumstances. I should never behave that way in front of my colleagues.
He used that letter, which I still maintain he did not write. I've read and edited his shit for 10 years. That was he never, had words in it like take responsibility.
I failed to lead by example in these cases. I hurt people who are here because they believe in our mission. I am truly chastened by my behavior as I let you all down, let myself down in these instances. This is not what a great or even good leader does.
You should certainly write a letter, but you should certainly stand up there and, do a mea culpa here. But he did.
We have a long way to go. If we're going to accomplish this mission, then I must hold accountable for my actions when they result in harm. So, my solution is as follows. I am going to slow down and listen from here forward.
He didn't seem to have any empathy.
I am very proud of this team. I believe in all of you. I want to work with you, and I want you all to be happy here on our mission. And I will always walk through walls for the mission of this place.
Well, he asked the board distribute his apology letter within PV, right?
Objection.
I have no idea.
You don't
I
recall
don't recall that.
I suggest that this be distributed to the staff with the board's blessing, and I be given the opportunity to actually have these open door policies this week and beyond, and have a chance to listen to feedback without providing any responses, but simply to listen and observe so that we could figure out the best way forward.
I took a lot of time writing it, and I genuinely felt I needed to slow down, but they wanted none of it.
It was insufficient, in my opinion, because of the breadth and depth of the testimony of, I think it was 16 employees.
Employee after employee went in, and I expressed an interest in speaking. Only the people who had things negative to say were allowed to speak.
I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea in that meeting they were going to trot out a dozen employees in a board meeting.
Are you aware that Matt Tierman is the one that collected the grievances from the employees ahead of that meeting?
Objection.
It's not surprising. It was quite typical. Matt and Joe both spent a huge amount of time involved with the people of Project Veritas. I did not.
I mean, Matt Tierman and Joe Barton were extremely and intricately involved with the staff. They were flirting with the staff. They would send messages to the staff. Joe Barton even sent one of the undercover reporters a message offering her a raise if they can remove me. This was highly unusual behavior.
There were board members involved in this chat that I was invited to, which was also a big question mark to me. I mean, no nonprofit organization I've ever worked with has had this lack of a firewall between board members and employees.
I would like to hear from some other employees so that we have the full context.
All these staffers, I would say there was about maybe 12 staffers in the chat out of 65 employees, were formulating this coup against me.
There was a group chat with a whole bunch of employees in it who were airing their grievances to each other.
And did the board members know about that before you?
It is not uncommon or unethical for board members to talk to employees.
And collect signatures without a COO knowing?
It's odd.
Josh Hughes, the chief technology officer, the head of IT, Jake Mantell, an associate in the media department, organizing these messages. One of my employees had told me about Josh Hughes and told me that he actually did some IT work for the federal government. There was always a suspicion that some of these folks may have been involved with the feds. We do know there were confidential informants at Project Veritas, we just don't know who. And we see now Tiermond has asked that we have a letter ready.
Someone says PV is about to decide if we have a company of yes men or a company of independent thinkers.
This place still needs to operate. You can have your place strike for a day knowing there are people like Freddie and others that'll be the real ones that bear the burden because the engine still needs to be running. Quote, that's very communist to me.
Now these things now starting to irritate me because I see these lame elementary rhetorical devices for what they are. Childish attempts to squash any opposition.
You find it odd that Dan Strack, the COO, didn't even know that Matt Tiermond was collecting those grievances.
I just learned it from you. I don't know.
I don't like the idea of the letter, and I don't like the idea that it was done the way it was done in the board meeting.
Why didn't you have control over that? I'm just asking.
Because the board was doing it, I really wasn't in control of it.
Wait, so the board was putting...
I wasn't really aware that there was a letter being formed.
Well, that's another problem, don't you think, COO?
February 5th at 11 a.m., right around the time I'm meeting with George Skakel in Stamford, Connecticut. Josh Hughes, the chief technology officer, he says, spoke to Dan Strack and Matt Tiermond at length today. They want a letter, so I'm going to pen it right now. Dan wants us to do this.
I wouldn't call it behind my back.
Did you not just say you didn't know about it? You said you were unaware.
I didn't know about the letter.
Right.
Don't put me on trial, Jasper.
No, I'm just asking.
Don't put me on trial because I don't deserve it. You don't have all the facts.
It becomes very clear that board members are driving this.
Now, I didn't know at the time, but they were collecting an actual letter, 16-page letter, that they were going to provide to the board of directors. I had no idea.
The reason why James was bad was morphing. He's a mean boss. He can't keep doing this to us. / no, what he did to Tom was illegal. / James is mismanaging funds, by the way. / James took a pregnant woman's sandwich.
Our attorney, Julia Witt, is alleging in the Revolutionaries chat that James stole the pregnant lady's sandwich.
I don't have any recollection of there ever being a sandwich that was meant for me that you took. I always just got my own food, so I don't even know.
You got your own food?
I always took the responsibility to get my own food. I don't know why anybody else would be grabbing me a sandwich.
Side note, says Josh Hughes, I've been sharing drafts with Tiermond, and he likes everything. Tiermond's swirling people, ginning up people. Matt Tiermond used these people. He used them and he discarded them. I was sent that letter as the meeting began.
Then I was subject to a 6.5-hour listing of grievances.
This was all designed. This was all designed by Tiermond. He wanted to hurt me.
I would like to hear from some other employees so that we have the full context.
And up first was Barry Hinckley. He said he had ran all these companies and he'd never heard of a car service shuttling the executive around.
I ran a large company with a lot of employees, and I never lived this lifestyle with black cards running at $250 an hour constantly, picking me up, moving me around.
Of course, most executives in $20 million companies get transported around. Almost all of our donors told me they wanted me to have security. They expected me, they thought it was stupid for me to drive around myself or in an Uber X. I just sat there in stunned silence, listening to this.
Did you ever see anything that in your mind crossed the line into financial malfeasance?
I never saw that. I wasn't particularly concerned about the financial stuff.
Expensive accommodations when the rest of the staff was staying at one level. I mean, all for one and one for all, expected a nonprofit. One person living one way and everyone else living another way. You know, flying a helicopter up to Maine to go sailing.
They were upset that I took a helicopter ride to Maine.
So you never did an analysis to balance how much PV or PVA received in donations from this donor in Maine and compare that to the expense of the helicopter ride?
I can tell you that that doesn't matter. It could have been $50 million for all I care.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with taking the helicopter at all.
I've owned 2 helicopters.
It wasn't that big. He wasn't stealing money and putting it in his pocket.
I'd love an opportunity to respond when Barry Hinckley is off the phone, please.
I'm concerned about our time because we're at 3 o'clock. We're at 1 right now. We haven't even scratched the surface.
If there are going to be accusations made about improprieties, I think it's only appropriate to have the chief executive officer respond with the facts of what happened, and I would like to do that.
But yeah, I agree. Is this something we could just defer to late? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
This is not how you run a board. This is not how you run a company. I would say there was a man named John Trainer. Barry Hinckley knows who he is. He was based in Maine. Oftentimes, the chief executive officer has to have multiple donor meetings in one day, sometimes meet with multiple billionaires in one day. And due to weather issues, that was something I spoke with Tom O'Hara about, and Tom O'Hara, I had his verbal consent to book that.
Wait. Don't put words in my mouth. You said you had a donor meeting.
May I finish?
Oh, if you're going to accuse me of consenting to something I didn't, I would like to defend myself.
No accusations, just stating what I witnessed. This was actually the only allegation that I was afforded the opportunity to respond to. I had no idea they were going to bring in the next employee.
Really, I didn't feel safe going to the office. That has never happened in my entire career.
This was a kangaroo court like Stalinist show trial. Some have called it a lashing, and some have actually called it a crucifixion. It was designed to hurt me.
There was an event in Greenwich as well. There were suggestions and comments made that the dress of his girlfriend was not appropriate.
They started talking about what my girlfriend dresses like in the boardroom. So I looked at Tom as to say, Tom, what does this have to do with our business? What does this have to do with how we run operations? And Tom just looked at me in the eye and he stared at me for about 20 seconds. And I thought, this is personal. This is personal. Point of order, how many more people are we going to intend to hear from?
I think we should hear from a few more people from different divisions of the company, not just development.
I'll answer that point and say until the board decides that discussion is over.
Have you ever seen a formal written complaint or grievance?
I don't know what you mean by formal.
Well, it seemed to me that you just had a distinction in your mind between formal and informal a second ago.
Well, you used the word formal, I did.
And it was all a mob mentality. It was just, they were all just friends with each other. You can't be friends with your employees like this.
A high net worth husband and wife. The wife told me that she asked him for a photo and he had turned her down.
Arden brought up this bizarre allegation that I had made a donor cry because I didn't want a photo with her or something.
The allegations are that he was extremely rude to one of his donors, which happens to be me. And that's completely blown out of proportion. And I'm really very disappointed, and the petty allegations towards him, they're actually completely false.
This is Arden, sent 4 days later. I wanted to take the time to formally apologize for any role I played in bringing harm to the company. But the damage had already been done, you see.
Everyone was basically told, it's my way or the highway. If you don't like it, you can leave.
The same Jonathan Bailey, months later, would send me text messages of dildos with semen on it. John Bailey would be fired in August of the same year when Project Veritas ran out of money. Then he asked me for a job.
I think James has become drunk on power, has acted like a tyrant. That is what we should be exposing.
What was interesting is Jake Mantell sent me a text message apologizing for saying that. And then a year later, Jake Mantell sent me another message calling me a, quote, faggot.
I can only withstand some, a certain kind of treatment, and now I demand a certain level of respect.
Bobby Harr would later send me a text message of me eating a sandwich covered in semen. He said, cry harder, James. They're effing memes. That's sexual harassment.
Problem is, because historically we've had bad hires, like, Jesus causing a disaster.
That same guy, Mike Villani, sends me a message a few days later apologizing to me. I hate that everything is happening this way, and I understand if you would never forgive me, but I just want to let you know that I love you. I love the mission, I love what you have built, and I'm deeply sorry. Then later, Mike Villani would shit all over me on Twitter.
The donors have increasingly expressed concern over James' judgment and decision-making.
And this one really, I thought it couldn't get any worse, and it somehow did. We had done a story about Twitter, and one of the vice presidents or one of the executives said that Elon has special needs and criticized Elon for his being on the spectrum.
We're jogging here with a Twitter executive on the streets of New York City who's literally gone in an all-out sprint.
When I went to ask this guy for comment, this guy started running away, and I ran after him with my microphone.
Also, when it comes to his behavior in the videos, making him work to me about how his ego, arrogance, and maturity. An example would be from like the recent FI videos of Goldman calling him up, telling him to look into the face when he's talking to him, and the Twitter employee that he literally takes around New York City.
Are you kidding me? We all love that. You love that video. The donor, you love that video and you solicited money from donors, and now you're criticizing the video? The donor wrote us a $200,000 check saying she loved that video and the method by which I obtained it. The entire raison d'etre of Project Veritas is to do things like that. None of it made any actual sense.
My perception is that they did not serve you well, that they fell victim to many of these petty human behaviors and motivations, in significant part because of this same kind of jealousy dynamics.
The letter that a lot of us chose to sign, if you just kind of skip through all of the anecdotes and sentiment and all that, and those are like fundamental, rights I think anyone would want to sign up for.
Joe Barton testifies in federal court that Josh Hughes gave a USB drive to Joe Barton of all the private text messages from James O'Keefe and R.C. Maxwell.
Do you agree with me that the content of those messages is discussing personal and private affairs?
Yes.
Private text messages of me to my girlfriend to Joe Barton, the board member, who then participates in the leaking of these messages.
You'd agree that those communications contain personal, private details of Mr. O'Keefe's life?
Objection.
There was a point where your client told Megyn Kelly that his life is an open book. So, I don't know that your client even has a private life.
Messages between my wife and I started to be posted online. These Project Veritas employees who were at my wedding were posting these messages and attacking her and attacking me merely for standing with James.
Angelo Martinez had posted online private medical information about R.C. Maxwell,
saying, "Don't say anything about me when I know about your wife and how she used to struggle mentally," for lack of a better term.
Information about his wife's medication on Instagram.
Yeah, I never gave any of that information away. I never had access to any of RC's information. That's all I'm going to speak on the topic, and that's it. So
you said, and I quote, like employees that would leave their...
I respect him. He's my friend. I love him to death, man. I don't care if he hates me after all this. I don't care.
Angelo also sent me a message. "You're a bitch and a grifter. The public may never know what the fuck you did, but people that matter to you will and do know. Promise you ever see me on the street, it's on site." It was an inversion. Like, I was held to account. I had all of the accountability, and they had none. They bring in the HR director. Jennifer accidentally says,
I understand that there's a possibility that you're asking that he steps down as his role as CEO.
Don't be confirming anything. We're just trying to understand the culture as it exists.
And that question has not even been brought, so.
nobody's determined anything. We're just trying to understand the culture. And now I'm starting to realize, oh my God, this is a setup.
It was very unfortunate, that entire Monday meeting, because I felt bad for James, for what he had to endure.
The attacks were so severe against me personally in that boardroom that one board member asked, quote, "Is there anything James O'Keefe is good at?"
Can I ask, do you think that James is good at anything? And if so, what are his strengths?
That's what your board member said.
I mean, at this point in the board meeting, I'm in a state of complete shock. I am just sitting there and I'm just taking a beating. It felt like a crucifixion. In fact, they actually sent me a picture. Later on, they would send me a picture of me nailed to a cross. The people with these grievances sent me a picture of me nailed to a cross, and they listed all of my sins. I mean, and it was all a mob mentality. Mario Balaban actually traveled to Brazil with Matthew Tierman on a private jet. And days before, February 6th, tweeted out, "Matt Tierman is a legend." There he was with Eric Spracklin and Gavin Ools, all golfing together. Matthew Tierman chose the weakest people and empowered them. They used these kids. Matt used them to further his agenda, his personal agenda.
Matt's very smart. He's very bright, very high IQ guy.
Donald Trump does not belong in this race.
He's also persuasive.
If he won, he would enter the White House as the weakest president in history because he'd be lame duck day one.
It was a very upsetting board meetings. It was more of a revelation to me than I think it was to Matt and Joe. One of the things that stands out in the meeting is that James didn't do anything to defend himself.
I'd love an opportunity to respond when Barry Hinckley is off the phone, please. Ask do I have a chance to respond to this? I would like to read my.
Let's bring him in. Go. Let's bring him in.
He made no effort to defend himself.
May I have a chance to respond?
It's on mute. I'm sorry.
I'd like to respond to the statements by Dan. I think it's only appropriate to have the chief executive officer respond with the facts. I have a right to respond.
Or object to anything anybody was saying.
After the 6 hours, I was asked what I had to say for myself. I was given about 10 seconds to respond.
He didn't seem to have any empathy, and he didn't seem to have any impulse to defend himself at all.
What do you expect us to do, given these allegations?
Well, will I have a chance to respond to them? There's two separate issues here. There's the...
No, the quick answer is no. Not here, not now.
I didn't prevent him from responding, that's for sure. But he thought that I did.
And then George Skakel sent me an email apologizing for not giving me a chance to respond.
My actions were impulsive, impatient, and inappropriate, which contributed to the outcome we are all suffering from now.
The purpose of that paragraph is to try to get James into the mood to negotiate and listen to me. I honestly don't think that I was impulsive, impatient, or anything inappropriate.
We are here to preserve Project Veritas. Okay, what do we do about you?
I'm not sure what they wanted, except for me to feel abused and feel pain, which is not what a board is supposed to do. I'm not certain if there's an opportunity to respond to these things, or if that's something that people want me to do. I can, if I'm given time to respond to that. This was a struggle session designed to get under my skin, designed to inflict pain, designed to make me lose my cool and say something I regret. More importantly, I'd like to hear from the board what their solution is if it's not the one that I've proposed.
What the board needed, and I think what Project Veritas needed, was a commitment from James to remove himself from certain activities. So just be a good boy, do what you're told, you can get everything you want, and you don't have to work as hard. Just stay out of certain areas.
Be a good boy. Be a good little boy. Do what we tell you to do. Be a dancing bear. Raise the money. Do it. You can't raise $24 million and do the journalism if you don't have the authority to make hard decisions. They wanted me to have all of the responsibility, fundraising and generating the journalism, but they wanted to take away all of my power and all of my control and all of my authority.
It was an emotional time, seeing his baby get ripped from him. And it wasn't right.
You never went through what I went through. You didn't endure all the things I had to endure.
The third door. Open up.
You weren't sleeping on a couch trying to raise $100 here, $1,000 here.
I'm invoking the Constitution here. Every defendant has the right to a fair trial, and no justice can be done in Ferguson or New York City if a fair trial cannot be had.
You didn't sleep on a mattress in Louisiana. You weren't falsely accused by the federal government, not once but twice. You didn't go through 3 jury trials.
Same James O'Keefe is facing federal felony charges that carry up to a $250,000 fine and 10 years in prison.
Never put on a hidden camera once in your life, other than to record me in my office. You didn't bleed and sweat and cry the way that I did for 14 years. And you come into my institution and you have the gall to tell me that you're not the bad guy. This was never about you.
I want to remind you, James, that you are here amongst some of your closest friends that have supported you for many, many, many years. There is no coup here. You have to trust these people to do the right thing for you.
There were, quote, corrective actions. Hinckley would come back. They were going to rehire Barry Hinckley.
All in favor of reinstating Barry Hinckley?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
One opposed.
Tom O'Hara would be restored as CFO, and
Question is, the CEO's hiring and firing privileges shall be revoked for a period of 180 days.
All in favor? Aye.
The CEO's ability to make these decisions suspended for 180 days.
I vote in favor of the motion.
The CEO is placed on leave for 2 weeks.
Aye.
And the CEO's access to donors is restricted.
All opposed?
If you need an answer right now, the answer is absolutely not.
Okay.
No. It's 4-1, the motion passes.
So I can't talk to donors. I can't raise money.
the one trump card I had in this meeting was, what's your plan? What are you guys going to do?
I just want to remind you that we love you and we care about your organization, and you are destroying it. You're destroying the thing that you created.
My question is, what is the plan of if you implement this solution?
Project Desktop is an organization that has 65 incredibly talented individuals who are capable of doing journalism. We don't believe that there will be any lost output on the margins.
They told me to be quiet and go away, and I did exactly as I was instructed, because if I didn't follow their instructions, that would be used against me. So I was put in an untenable situation where I was told to be gone for 2 weeks, but don't be gone for 2 weeks, be available to us. It was illogical and it was completely irrational. It was designed to be. It was designed to torture me. When the meeting ended, Tom wouldn't look me in the eye. And I looked Tom O'Hara in the eye. He wouldn't look at me.
I regret, as we left that room, Tom O'Hara was the first person to leave the room because he was closest to the door. And then James and I were sitting there sort of collecting our things. And I regret not saying something at that moment. Something like, that was rough, or like, are you okay? Like, we're gonna get through this. Like, do you want to talk? Like, you want to get a cup of coffee? Like, and I did it. I regret that. I did.
Strack, in my opinion, should have stepped up and been more of a leader.
And I walked out of the conference room, turned the corner, and walked out the door. My credit card was suspended. I had no authority and no power. And I got in my car, I started to cry, I drove home to New Jersey. It was horrible. It was just completely devastating.
It was communicated as, oh, we're just kind of forcing James to take a vacation. He's taking a break, he's going to come back, we're going to figure this out. Everyone get back to work, is how it was communicated to us.
And is that when people started to panic?
Well, people were already panicking when the article came out in New York Magazine.
I'm going in, that's all I do. Standing on business, that's what I do. Phone blowing up, bands come through. I'm on topic, again, what's new? I'm staying here, I like the view. I got options, I ain't gonna lose. I'm a savage and I'm cute. Talk to me nice or you get the boot.
New York Times calls me. They want to comment. By this point now, all sorts of outside people are hitting us up. Charlie Kirk and people like who I know are like, RC, what's going on?
And then things start to collapse.
I was fundraising in the wake of what the board did in February.
Objection.
It fell off dramatically.
Exclusive, I've obtained a cease and desist demand letter representing a large group of significant PV donors.
Requests for donations returned. There's thousands of people want their money back. Thousands.
Talk to me nice, don't talk to me crazy. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Yeah, you know I'm wavy. Yeah, talk to me nice, don't talk to me crazy. Yeah, bitch, I'm a don. Yeah, I'm not your baby. Talk to me nice, don't talk to me crazy. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Yeah, you know I'm wavy.
There's now no more money coming in. Like, the donor department dried up when this thing went public. Dan and the board, they never came to a point of honesty.
During this 2-week hiatus, they hold a second board meeting and demand that I talk to them.
He has to pick up the phone and call them. He has to, because I'm telling you, if a board statement goes out the way that they're thinking about doing it, it's fucking over.
Yeah.
It's fucking over, Knight. It's over. And I'm not on the board. I can't vote them to stop doing
It was never the intention of the board to indefinitely suspend James O'Keefe, but they did it on February 10th.
He left voluntarily. He was not fired. He was suspended. and
Without pay.
Please let the witness
For what,
finish his
2 weeks?
answer.
Big deal.
Please let the witness answer his
Suspended
question.
without pay?
I don't recall.
Indefinitely?
I don't recall.
At the behest of Matt Tierman, they indefinitely suspended me from the company without pay. So I was fired on February 10th.
We, the staff at Project Veritas, are at a crossroads. High-level disputes between our leader and founder, James O'Keefe, and the volunteer board of directors who are responsible for oversight of the nonprofit have resulted in James no longer being here. James is not only the founder of Project Veritas, but the creative visionary of our mission. This devastated us and the audience we exist for. James hasn't resigned, nor was he fired. These events confuse and they hurt us, leaving all of us in a state of limbo.
It was just really painful, everything that happened over the next couple of weeks.
Do you recall an email from James O'Keefe where he said, "I'll come back on the condition that the board resigns"?
I remember something along those lines, but I don't think that was about to happen. James's behavior was radical and unexpected. It's not normal human behavior.
A founder and CEO who has taken the company from nothing to fundraising $22 million a year, and he's confronted in a 6.5-hour grievance session and suspended without an opportunity to even respond. That's not normal human behavior.
Objection.
On February 20th,
Yeah.
2023, 2 weeks after the initial suspension, the board of directors released a statement publicly accusing James of hundreds of personal inurements, taking this helicopter flight, using black cars.
I was against that release.
Why were you against the release?
I didn't want to cause harm to James at that time.
Oh my God! On national TV!
I mean, we had no CEO at this point, so the board is looking, generally speaking, at the time, as I recall, the board is looking for the people in management who are left, which were Tom O'Hara and Dan Strack. At least I was hoping that Dan would step up and take charge.
Yeah, so yesterday we took the deposition of Dan Strack, who was the COO at the time.
Yeah.
And he testified, and he was actually recorded saying,
if a board statement goes out the way that they're thinking about doing it, it's fucking over. It's over.
So you and Dan Strack are in agreement that this was ill-advised.
Yes.
Objection.
Who is it on the board that is in control?
I want to present my friend and my brother and my comrade in arms, on whose board I proudly serve.
Fuck this fucking guy. Donald Trump does not belong in this race. He would enter the White House as the weakest president in history because he'd be lame duck day one.
He's a little bit unhinged. I told him he's crazy.
Why is it that Matt Tierman and Joe Barton are in control of this board?
Matt's very smart. He's very bright, very high IQ guy. He's also persuasive.
Tierman's swirling people, ginning up people. They used these kids. Matt used them to further his agenda, his personal agenda.
When before today was the last time you spoke with Matt Tierman?
I have frequent conversations with Matt because I'm an investor in 4 companies that he has been raising money for, and I have, business reasons to talk to him.
When did you begin investing in Matt Tierman's companies?
A few years ago.
While you were on the board?
Yes, I think I was on the board then.
Do you recall any specific conversation with James O'Keefe where you told him, I'm investing in Matt Tierman's companies?
James is not a business guy. There would be no reason for me to talk to James about my private transactions with Tierman.
Well, when money's involved, you could see that that would create an alignment between the board members, right?
Objection.
I don't know what you mean. Alignment.
Wouldn't you agree with me that
we were aligned, but because we were on the board?
Right, but when things become difficult, you're more likely to align with those that you share financial interests with. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Objection.
No, I think they're completely separate.
How do you define conflict of interest?
Oh, I don't know. Give me a dictionary and I'll read you the definition.
Nothing about how I've conducted myself over the past 13 years has really fundamentally changed.
Consider the news that did not break today. The pro-transparency...
The only thing that has changed is that we broke the biggest story in our organization's history.
It was a story that was so big that it was a combination of the board thinking they finally could do this without James O'Keefe, but also maybe some conflicts of interest per their own words.
Is it fair to say that 3 of the 4 companies you've invested in you would consider to be in the medical field?
Or Petrogen could be sold to a big pharma.
Like Pfizer?
Like
Objection. You agree with me? Well, Pfizer could be a candidate for
maybe, potentially, yeah. I mean, I think if I was a banker, you'd be crazy not to let Pfizer know that it was available.
Yeah, it turns out I was up against all these people who were financially aligned, who were loyal to each other.
George, were you an investor in the same company as Matt Tierman?
Some of them.
You didn't disclose that.
But I wasn't an investor in the companies while I was on your board.
While you're on the board?
Yes, I think I was on the board then.
You weren't?
No.
When did you become an investor?
After I left your board.
Is that right?
How much did you invest in each of Matt Tierman's companies?
I don't think that's any of your business.
I think it is. How much did you...
We have a disagreement.
Are you refusing to answer the question?
Yes.
I want to talk about your investments in
I want to talk
companies.
about you.
How
How much money did you spend on private helicopters?
I wasn't particularly concerned about the financial stuff.
There is no reason for me to disclose anything. My personal investments?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Well, you said you're a businessman and
I
Pfizer
am.
could be a buyer. What did you mean by that? What did you mean
I
by
invest in businesses. That's not news.
It's about making
That's
money.
how I made, yes.
It's all about making money, isn't it?
How do you think I paid for this?
Is it all about money?
Too bad you can't afford that. Because you're a cheat. You're a liar.
Yeah, well, it's all about money, isn't it? It's all about money. Because I'm not a business guy, it's all about money, isn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's about money.